What's good, Bears fans? Uh, I don't believe you need an intro. Let's just get straight to the point. The Chicago Bears are a absolute dumpster fire, and I believe before the bye, after the Bears blew out the Panthers and they blew out the Jaguars in London, it gave the fans false hope, including myself. Because I was led to believe that this team finally has turned the corner, and Caleb was on the rise to be a quarterback that we have never foreseen in years to come. But to bring back ourselves to reality from the previous two games and the rest, and the NFC North gets tougher and tougher. The Lions won, they're first in the NFC. The Packers, yeah, they lost, but they'll find a way to get back to their winning ways. The Vikings just won last night. They're frauds, but not to say that we're any better, but they're the NFC North is getting tough. And the Bears are sitting at the bottom once again. So it's giving us a glimmer back to reality. And listen, this was what I even though when the Bears traded Justin Fields, my negative self before I convinced myself for the 500th time that it was going to work out. A part of my mind expected it to happen. We were expecting, my mind was like, don't trust the Bears. They'll find a way to screw it up. A rookie quarterback's development, which they have been doing. And people were say, "Oh, it's not y'all. It's y'all fault for not drafting the right quarterback." Rather you believe that's right, rather you believe Mitch was the right quarterback, rather you believe that Justin was the right quarterback to draft. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, when you draft a quarterback, you have to properly develop them. And now you're seeing that with Caleb. No matter how talented he is, it doesn't matter because of the offensive. Like I said, it's every quarterback that the Bears have brought into. They have no offensive line. The play caller is shitty. The head coach is shitty. Well, except for Lovie Smith, but the Bears decided to fire him after a 10-6 year. But ever since then, the Bears have not the Bears can't get it right. And Waldron, how do you go from resurrecting Geno Smith's career to being a complete fucking bum? And to be honest with you guys, you can fire Eberflus, but nothing changes. And people want to talk about Ben Johnson. We're not going to get Ben Johnson. I hate to tell you that. The Bears are not going to get Ben Johnson because I don't think that's what the Bears would do. I think they would hire some random. It's like the same thing with 2013 when we were marked to get what's his face? Trying to think of the not Todd Bowles. I think it was Bruce Arians that the Bears were linked to get, but they decided to hire a random offensive coordinator from the CFL named Mark Trestman. The Bears will probably do that again. They're going to hire some bum to be offensive coordinator that nobody's ever heard of, and then it's the same cycle and repeat. And it doesn't matter how talented the defense is. The Bears' defense never has been bad for the majority of my life, besides 2013, besides 2022. It doesn't matter because if your offense can't put up points, eventually the defense is going to reach their breaking point, which they did against the Cardinals. That play, which was the last before the halftime, where the Cardinals, they just handed the ball off. I thought they were just going to run the ball off and see if they can get into field goal range, but they got into the fucking end zone. And the Bears did not learn from their mistake from Washington. They did the same exact concept. Only difference was there was no player taunting the fans. That's the only difference. Other than that, it's the same exact play that they did against Washington. Prevent defense. As someone once told me, prevent defense prevents you from winning. That's why it's called prevent for a reason. And obviously Eberflus took accountability for that at the post game, but I still want Eberflus fired because even though I think Caleb, it's being reported that he's fine, why would you have Caleb in there in garbage time when it should be the other quarterback, Tyson Bagent? And I know there's some percentage of the Bears fan base that wants Tyson Bagent to start. If you think Tyson Bagent has any resemblance of change in this offense, you're smoking dope crack, my guy. You're smoking. Bagent, it would get killed behind this offensive line because he's not mobile. He just sits in the pocket. At least Caleb runs around the pocket, outside the pocket. Tyson Bagent would get killed. This offensive line is once again an open door. And this is a statement on Ryan Poles too, because Ryan Poles, it's his third year as a former offensive lineman. You should know that how to build an offensive line, because Ryan Poles, if anyone that's still living under the rock, Ryan Poles was a former offensive lineman, and this offensive line still looks the same as it did Ryan Poles' first year. It's still bad. It's still an open door. Oh, fun fact. Caleb Williams is on pace to get sacked 63 times. And that ruins a quarterback's development right there. And I've been told, oh, who wouldn't want to coach Caleb Williams? Matty Eberflus said the same thing about Justin. Same with all that. They're like, oh, we want to help Justin Fields' development. Look where that led him. Eventually, the head coach is going to draft his own guy, and it's the same old cycle and repeat, which the Bears have been repeating. And it doesn't matter. You can get Arch Manning. You can get Dylan Raiola. You can get a next upcoming quarterback that's claimed to be generational. No matter how generational the quarterback is, the team is just bad. And with how talented players that the Bears have, because we talk about DeAndre Swift, which had me eating crow because I wanted DeAndre Swift bench. You have DJ Moore, who wasn't even he was barely even targeted this game. You have Keenan Allen. Yeah, Keenan Allen drops, but he's an important player. You have Rome Odunze, which Rome had a good game this game, so at least there's some bright spot to probably, hopefully, for the new future. You have, and plus, why are you not targeting Cole Kmet? Cole Kmet had 0 targets. 0. He had a donut of targets. Waldron, if it's not broke, don't fix it. You targeted Cole Kmet a lot in the Jaguars. You saw how it looked. It looked good. You got you a blowout win. But in the past 2 games, Cole Kmet has only had 1 target. And he caught it. So why are you not targeting Cole Kmet? Why are you not targeting DJ Moore? Why is Rome? And I get it. I like Rome. Don't get. I think Rome is going to be eventually a good wide receiver for us eventually. but you have to get your playmakers involved if you want any successful chance of winning football games. And the trade deadline's coming up in 2 days. We'll see what the Bears do, depending how the Bears are active. And Ryan Poles, if he's listening to this somehow, he needs to trade for an offensive lineman. He needs to trade for an edge rusher because you saw how Montez Sweat was out for the game, and you saw how the defense looked. It should fit into Ryan Poles' head that, okay, he needs to make some moves during the trade deadline, and he has the draft capital. So don't say, oh, he doesn't. He does have the draft capital to do it. He has a lot of picks this year to work with. Players depends. He has a lot of draft capital to work with. Make it happen. Get Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. Get an offensive lineman. Do what you got to do, because nothing's. And there's a report. Well, there's not a report, but there's a rumor. Well, they're kind of the same. Well, there's a rumor that Ryan Poles will not be shopping because he feels confident in the team. But after the last 2 games, I don't think so. If you go into the trade deadline and trade and make your team better, call up other teams and see what they have to offer. Because at the end of the day, folks, this team, if it stays the same, it's not going to get better for Caleb's development. I'll tell you that right now. And if Ryan Poles has any credibility, because we all know the coach is not getting fired. I know people on Twitter are like, oh, fire Eberflus right now. You have to wait till the end of the season to see if it happens, because for whatever the reason, the McCaskies and the organization do not fire head coaches in season. They wait till the end of the season because that's what the Bears do. Ryan Poles, if he has any credibility of building this team, he needs to go out and get an offensive lineman, and he needs to go out and possibly get an edge rusher. That's how things will. That's will probably give fans a glimmer of hope. Well, but even though a part of it was like, don't trust the Bears, they'll find a way to ruin it. But at least give us a glimmer of hope. But that's just my thoughts on the situation. I do want to see what the comments say. Maybe not just for Bears fans, maybe other organizations. I just want to hear y'all thoughts, because it's looking like the same old recycle and repeat what the Bears have been doing. And shout out to I hate to say this, and they're the rivals, so shout out to the Vikings, shout out to the Packers, shout out to the Lions for knowing how to develop quarterbacks right. They're inferior to us. And it burdens my heart to say this. And okay, we got the Patriots next. Will that be a win? Probably, because for whatever the reason, the Bears are dominant at home as always. But once you get to the division rivals, it's going to be a different story, and it will tell you a lot about how this team is. So let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching. I'm not seeing a bear down.